Daily sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Las Vegas, Nevada. The atmosphere here, electric. No matter the venue, the home folks love their silver and black. They are fired up as their Raiders get set to face off with the Chicago Bears. First quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. With a play fake to Jacobs. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. This is caught inside the 15. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Henry runs. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders have taken the early lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. Taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage, but every one of these RPOs.
And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Bears. Damiere Byrd, his fourth touchdown on the year. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game. That's a great response. You give up the first score of the game, but you go right down yourselves and get the equalizer.
I just had a flashback there. I remember playing in a game like that in college where one of my teammates had said in the media that week, the opposite team would be lucky to cross our goal line. They crossed it in the first minute of the game. On our first offensive play, we scored to answer back. Something similar to what we just saw there.
Very similar to what we just saw. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one-play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was fairly easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. First carry for Josh Jacobs. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. This defense for the Bears, they were terrific a week ago in that win over Detroit.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball, or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and...
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. This defense was victimized earlier in this opening quarter. This time, a measure of revenge.
Well, they always tell defenses you have to have a short memory, but I also think it helps if you remember what happens to you before and now you're able to flip it around. They didn't want to show weakness and let this offense think they could do whatever they want, and they turned things around in that case and picked one off themselves.
Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen, and room there to work it inside the 25. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And they needed to be, because the game was a game we don't see very often anymore. Low scoring, slugging it out in the trenches. One play can make the difference type of a game, and each play took on more importance, and they got it done.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Now a run with Montgomery. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the 17.
Fields, he'll get that complete to his tight end, Kmet.
So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Following the penalty, Montgomery. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. David Montgomery. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bears have taken the lead.
Great call to hand that one off, and his running back did the rest.
Someone read their keys correctly, and on the defensive side of the ball, they certainly did not, because they really essentially were just going to swarm the quarterback. They kind of guessed themselves out of the play, and guess who benefited? The guy with the football.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive.
And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Now Carr. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Eddie Goldman with a sack. You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first.
And this almost intercepted. Not sure he saw the free safety that time. But lucky, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. A good return there, 17 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out. Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league in converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. Fields on 1st down. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll make it 2nd down. And, CD, defensively, you're going against a hot quarterback coming off a 3-touchdown game in their victory a week ago. But what's the big key for them to try to slow him down?
You ask all the tough questions, don't you, partner? Because with this guy, if you blitz him, he takes advantage of that man coverage and burns you. But if you bring on those extra DBs, he sits back there and does what he wants. To me, it's going to be those DBs. When they catch the ball, big-time tackles really put it on those receivers.
Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win.
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Tariq Cohen, his first touchdown on the year. And the Bears will extend their lead. Well, they were looking to pick up the 1st down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage, partner. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roam, and he found it.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. Well, this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Carr. He'll let this go deep for Ruggs. And this throw will be intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And, Charles, it seems like sometimes when you fall down early, there can be a tendency there to try and get it all back in one fell swoop. And that time, that thinking leads to an interception.
And I believe you brought up a really good point there, Brandon, because you try and force plays, right? You try and get all back in one shot, just as you mentioned there. And you know you're going to need some big plays to get back into the game. But ultimately, you really can't force what isn't there.
Now Montgomery running right. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. From his own end zone, Fields. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. He's at the 50. 30. The 20. 10. Touchdown, Chicago. Allen Robinson, 98
8 yards.
And the Bears are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
And that's the type of play that'll give your sideline some juice, a long touchdown pass.
And it's like a bolt of lightning, isn't it? That suddenness of that play brings everyone to their feet in the stadium, and he takes it all the way to the end zone. Give him credit for making that type of a play call. Even more credit for how they executed it.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Flush to his right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Akeem Hicks at 6'5", 332 finds his way home for the sack.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
Another try after the first down sack. Carr. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Johnson. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
Second down at 5. Fields now to throw.
Man open is Robinson. Touchdown. Allen Robinson. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Bears continue to pull away here in this first half.
Okay, we need to double check here with Marvin because he keeps all of our good stats. But what I've got is 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, and they've got a nice, healthy lead.
Well, after the first drive, we thought things might be clicking. They're really clicking at this point. They're clicking about as much as they can click.
And right
I just said click a lot.
Yes, you did, but that's okay because the guy who's coordinating the defense, trying to slow them down.
Good luck.
He's going to have hair that looks like mine very soon. Not much of it.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive.
And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive? And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble.
Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
And then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Eddie Jackson picks it.
Well, we heard all week that they were going to put the football in the air a lot. The problem is that is now 4 interceptions, Charles, that he has thrown in this first half. How do you treat a situation? What do you say to your quarterback right now?
Boy, that's an interesting question because a lot of it depends on the head coach and the people making the decisions. You have to know your quarterback and know if he's mentally tough enough to have a chance to turn it around. Or is he a guy that maybe you've seen enough and it's time to go to the backup? But right now what you're rooting for is your defense to help keep you in the game, to give him an opportunity to get back on track.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
They'll try to run for it with Cohen. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to make it fourth down. So on fourth down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. Hunter Renfrow deep to return for the Raiders. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really...
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Khalil Mack in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the first down sack. Carr. This is going to be caught. It's John Brown. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. 27 yards there, a first down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
And some room to maneuver. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
How about the first half he's putting together? Well over 100 yards already with that last catch. And to me, they'd be well served to keep looking his way. A number of big plays already in this one.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And down inside the 15 he goes. They moved the ball over 50 yards between this play and the last one. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Into the red zone, it's Carr. He finds his man, complete. That's Jacobs. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. So still 14 yards to go, 2nd down. Again, they'll throw with Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. This has been a long drive. You know that defense, they're craving to get off the field. They were able to force it free but couldn't recover it.
Yeah, and on the offensive side of the ledger, they were thinking about how do we punctuate this drive with 6, right? Make it an exclamation point. Instead, you got to put a question mark next to this drive now after the fumble, even though they recovered it.
Now on 3rd and forever, he'll look to throw. He'll let this go deep for Ruggs. And this is going to be intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
Back to Montgomery on second down.
He gets it forward for 4, maybe 5, but the flags fly. And this one could be coming back. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Back to throw. Fields.
That's complete to Robinson. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28. Montgomery on the counter.
And the safety, Trayvon Merrick, up to make the play defensively.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11. Back to the ground, this time Montgomery.
He was brought down by Trayvon Mullen.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Back to Montgomery on second down.
And he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18.
I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there. They've been out in the field for a long time, and that last run, they just cut right through them.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So 2 third down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a third, and now they deal with 4th down. And before this 4th and 3 play, we're going to get whistles and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To throw his car. He's going deep for Brown. And now here's another interception. Eddie Jackson picks it, and he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, that means talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
80 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. A give. This is Montgomery. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line.
Nice job there finding room to maneuver, and he worked his way into another 1st down. And look, they had great field position to start, but boy, they've done a nice job taking advantage of it.
Now they're just hoping to cap it off. First down, a run with Cohen. He's to the 10. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Tariq Cohen, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bears continue to pour it on.
Well, it has been the passing game that's really been responsible for much of the scoring so far. But let's not forget about this running attack. They're pretty good, too, as evidenced right there.
And I think, Brandon, the fact that they've thrown the ball so well contributed to that touchdown, because that was a defense that was really keyed up to cover those receivers. All they wanted to do was blanket them. They didn't have enough men in the box to stop the run, and you saw the end result.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
2nd and 12 now at the 44-yard line.
Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. It's a 7-yard pickup. They'll be looking now to 3rd and 6. Here's Carr. That's caught by Waller out left side. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down. Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Yeah, this is a high kick, but it's not going anywhere. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. Just 21 yards on the punt there. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Darnell Mooney, the target there.
But now it's 3rd down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. He's going deep for Brown. And my goodness, another interception. It's Desmond Trufant. CD, this defense, man, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the game. They all want their shot at picking off a pass.
The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10 at their own 37. They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line. That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation. The Bears on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And, boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Just a yard on the run there. That's going to bring us to a 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Chicago. The return is Renfro. So a change of possession here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. It got his man complete. And he takes this thing way down into Chicago territory.
That last throw moves him past 27,989 yards for his career. So that means he moves ahead of the blonde bomber, Terry Bradshaw, on the all-time list.
And, boy, he loved to throw it downfield, didn't he? That's why he was the blonde bomber. Remember, he threw it downfield to John Stallworth and Lynn Swann. It was gorgeous. Big throws, big plays. Terry Bradshaw.
2nd and 10.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead. And unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College, not a heck of a lot of fun. I still remember playing and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs, I knew every note to their school's fight song.
Bet that ice bath felt extra cold afterwards, too.
Oh, no, there was no ice bath. You're just trying to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, a broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that... team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right?
Yes,
as the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from their first one and blew out the Seahawks.
145 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. And off comes to Montgomery. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Chicago, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Las Vegas, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.